Another FX is in the Rack Cave. Hi guys, this is RACKNLOAD and this is the FX Dynamic. Well, it's pretty much an FX Panthera, but with a bottle on the back. Does it remind you of the old classic FX Verminator? Yeah, it does. Me too. Yeah, I used to own one of those things. What a great bit of kit that was for its, time, as far as, 20 years ago, or however long, however old those things are. It must have been about 20 years ago when I had one. Maybe I'm losing track of time, who knows. But they are quite a classic now. The old FX Verminators that used to just take the simple magazines, like a kind of like a HW100 magazines, just a bit of metal, no clockwork stuff going on like what you've got in modern magazines. But anyway, I digress. The FX Dynamic is here. You've seen pretty much all the FXs here in the Rack Cave, on this channel, on this very table. How have I got on with this one? Well, not bad actually. Not bad, straight out of the box. Now, I ain't gonna lie, although, I am a little bit, I guess, affiliated with FX, only a little bit. I'm not gonna be the type that seems to just, say, oh, everything's great. I've got a few gripes about these, and guys, I'll keep it BS free. I've had this for quite a while now, and I've used a ton of pellets with this rifle. In fact, I've got them all here, which you'll see shortly. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different flavors of pellets, and a couple of which are slugs that I've used in this sub 12 177 FX Dynamic in Express. Okay, right, let's just roll out some of the specs on this particular rifle then. So this is a sub 12 in 177. You can get it in 22 as well, 22 sub 12 for the UK, but obviously you can get it in FAC version in 22, in 25, in 30 and in 35. I had an FX Panthera in 35 when they first come out. I was one of the first here in the UK to sort of put one of those through its paces. What a beast that thing was. Not a very good shot count, whereas the sub 12s you're going to get loads more shots per fill. As you know, I've got an FX Impact fully tricked out. I've got it down here. I'll sort of drop that into the video shortly because it's appropriate for this video slightly. But no, let's just sort of roll out some specs. So yeah, all your usual calibers, 177, 22, 25, 30 and 35 are available. The latter two being, the latter three being FAC, and a choice between FAC 22 or sub 12. Shot capacity wise, they do actually have it wrong on FX's website, which is quite interesting. They're saying 177 is a 21 shot mag. It isn't, it's actually a 22 shot magazine. 18 shot in 22 caliber, 16 shot in 25 caliber, 13 shot in 30 caliber, and 10 shot in 35 caliber. Now, this particular rifle that you see on the table is the 500mm, I believe. Anyway, I'm just going to confirm that with myself just to doubly check. Yeah, it's 500mm barrel on this one, sub 12 177. The overall length is 900mm or 39 inches, weighing in at about 7 pounds or 3.2 kilograms. Fill pressure is 250 bar. It has a 62cc plenum on this particular rifle. On the 600mm and the 700mm, They call it the Magnum XL Plenum, which is, excuse me, 156cc. So that's how much air capacity the Plenum, which is basically here, is just the same as a Panthera. The Plenum is sort of here. The barrel goes through the Plenum. Obviously, on FAC versions, you're going to get a bigger Plenum, depending on the caliber and the power output of that particular rifle. Now, shot capacity wise, as far as running the fuel down on this thing, 177, well, it doesn't state, and I've not run this thing dry, not that you should run them dry anyway, but it does say on FX's website that the 500mm barrel version, you're going to get in 2.2 about 180 shots. With the 25, it's going to be 90 shots. With the 30 cal, it's going to be 60 shots. And with the 35 cal, it's going to be 30 shots. So with the 177, I'm guessing you're going to get about 160 shots per fill on this rifle. The shots won't start dropping off because it is a regulated rifle. So you're not going to sort of lose power unless you really sort of run it dry. As long as that plenum's filling up, you won't notice any difference on the drop in the shots, basically the shots power, okay, because it's regulated. As simple as that. It's going to be pushing the same amount of air out the barrel every single time, okay. So that's just about all of your specs. Anything I've missed, I'll just sort of chuck in the details of the video down below, so just click there. So let's take a look at the FX Dynamic then. Now, like I said, the front end is pretty much Panthera, okay? It's pretty much Panthera, okay? But the Panthera comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes now. So, where you can have the bottle sort of at the back, you can have the bottle at the front, you can have two bottles, you can have twin bottles. Oh, it just goes on. There's that many sort of variants. It's kind of hard to keep up with. But the Dynamic Express, now there is another Dynamic that has it's like the VP style bottle. Is the VP style bottle, is it aluminium or is it steel? It always seems a bit heavier, or it's just aluminium without the carbon fiber wrap. This one has the carbon fiber wrap, as you can see. So it's an aluminium bottle with a carbon fiber coating that we're sort of all familiar with a lot of air rifles now. This is a little bit different. It does remind me, it's a little bit Verminator, like I said at the start of the video. This will probably bring me to one of my gripes on this rifle. Okay, so you do have an adjustable recoil pad, butt pad, whatever you want to call it, stock pad. So you can adjust that. I do like that. And you can adjust it for length of pull, because underneath here you can see like a carbon fibre tube there. It actually looks like one of the carbon fibre barrel tensioners that they've cut down there. Good use of one, I suppose. If you want to do these Allen nuts here, or Allen screws here, this will obviously slacken off because it's basically clamped onto the bottle. You can adjust the whole thing if you wanted to, or that will sort of slide out on that carbon fibre bar or tube. Number one gripe. Should have made that tool free, shouldn't they, really? Why didn't they just bang a couple of these little thumb screws there so you could easily do that? But I guess once you've got it set up to how you want it, you ain't going to touch it again anyway. But I don't know. And I do think that when it's sort of pushed in all the way, you've got a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see that very well. Probably can't. But that does overhang a little bit. I don't know, I'm just probably nitpicking, but I don't know, it could have been finished a little bit better, I think. But apart from that, I can put up with it. Bottle is obviously your standard sort of carbon fibre wrap bottle even. I do like that. That does look very cool. It is obviously ambidextrous. The stock is, although it is basically the bottle. So, you know, doesn't matter which side of that you are, it's exactly the same. Me being a lefty, this rifle does appeal because, not that I would, but it is totally ambidextrous, and you can swap the cocking lever round to the other side, which is nice, which would make this fully ambidextrous. Me being me, I kind of like it as it is. I'm that used to using bolt action right-handed rifles that as long as I'm comfortable on the stock, it doesn't really matter. And I kind of find it an advantage having the cocking lever on my side, if that makes sense. It's quite a number of times now that right-handed shooters are opting to have a cocking lever on the left-hand side of the gun. It just makes it a little bit more ergonomic, believe it or not. So I found that quite a lot. I've heard a lot of how should I say it? A lot of high-profile shooters sort of say that. Anyway, just in case you were wondering, this rifle is wearing a Titan 5 to 25 times 50 first focal plane scope, just a test scope. You've seen this scope on a lot of guns now. I've got tons to choose from here in the Rack Cave, but this one worked well. These are, I forget what mounts they are now, but I kind of wanted to raise this up a little bit high because this is I'm not going to say a gripe, it just is what it is. But when you've got a bottle that's kind of straight, sticking out of the back of the rifle, you've got to bring it up a little bit, because obviously, unless you've got sort of real low cheekbones, but you've got to sort of bring it up a little bit to, you know, to get a beady eye through the scope. So hence that's why it's wearing fairly high scope rings as well. And not only that, you've got to remember, you've got to allow for the mag. It's not like a Crown where you really got to sort of, you know, go extra high, but you've got to allow for that magazine because it is sticking up quite a bit. I mean, it's not in properly there, but I'll just kind of show you. It does, yeah, all right, it's loose in it, but it does stick up quite high. You can see it in the video, the range footage anyway. So there is your stock incorporated into the bottle. It'd be nice if it was tool-free adjustment, but apart from that, it's pretty cool. I like FX's logo on there, like how they've done that. Simple, does exactly what it says on the tin. Then moving along to the pistol grip. FX's own pistol grip, AR in style. You can swap that out if you wanted to. There's your Foster filler there on that side. On the bottom side, you've got adjustable trigger, AR-15 style safety catch just on the one side. Because this is sub 12, you don't have the micro adjustment here, the wheel that you basically get on the side. You've just got this one. This one is factory set at pretty much full power, so I've left it at that. 30 MOA rail built into the receiver of this rifle, and there obviously are your gauges for your regulator and your bottle pressure. Okay, it's getting heavy, or I'm just getting weak. AMP regulator fitted as standard in these rifles, so like I said, you won't notice shots dropping off because the regulator's doing its job. It's the same puff of air each time you pull the trigger, you know, and obviously unless you've adjusted it. Full length Arca rail all along the bottom of the plenum and the barrel. You can get these dynamics where they don't have that, plus there's a barricade stop there as well. Again, you can just get it where they're pretty much naked from here. I'll roll in a picture. They do look a little bit odd like that, if you ask me. This one also has a bridge on there, so you could throw on, which has, M-lock slots on there. So you could actually throw on spigot bipod, for example, if you wanted to. So that would give you an option. This rifle really is a hunter compared to like the Panthera, which is more sort of target stroke PRS orientated. This is more set up for hunting because it's a bit more compact, a bit more pointable. You know, the bottle's at the back. There's nothing really getting in the way. It's just a simple, easy to sort of point and shoot rifle. You know, it's more or less the same sort of profile and size as a little bolt action. You know, a little bolt action rimfire, for example. So that is pretty cool. I do like the way it is just pointable, no frills. You know, with it being sub 12, you know, there's not much you can adjust on it. And I kind of shy away from that sometimes, messing about with stuff. You know, I work in the industry. You forever have people adjusting stuff when they don't know what they're doing, and it's like, oh, just zero it with whatever pellet it prefers. Job done. Okay, I know some of these FXs and other guns are really sort of modular as far as adjustment goes, but to be fair, I've got an Impact. I've not really messed about with it. I've zeroed it, and that's it. It does what I need it to do. All right, I've bolted loads of shizzle on there. I mean, let's bring it in. I've got it here ready just to show you, and that'll kind of bring me on to another subject. But here is the RACKNLOAD FX Impact with just about everything you can get bolted on to it. Okay, I'll kind of run you through it. So it's just adds to a bit of fun, doesn't it? So this one's fully formed out with form left-handed cheek piece, form left-handed pistol grip there. I've got the adjustable Sabre Tactical goodness on the back, the stock pad there. What else have I got? I've got the top rail. I've got a Spigot GRS bipod attachment there. I've got the Arca Swiss rail underneath. Oh, Donny FL Fat Boy muzzle brake and air strippers. Oh, the list goes on, but it's still at factory settings because I've zeroed it and it does what I want it to do. So there you go. Now, accessorizing this. Now, if you're a hunter and you want a compact little rifle that's just going to do the job, first of all, you probably won't put a jocking great scope on it like what I've done. You'll have something a little bit more compact, but I've got a load of scopes on the go that are on other guns at the minute that are in test. So this was pretty much the first one I grabbed. So you're going to keep it lightweight, so you probably aren't going to put all that crap on there. Not that you can. There's not much that you can really choose to sort of throw on this thing at present. I know you can get weights and stuff. If you're doing like the targety stuff, you can get all the fancy weights, this, that and the other. But myself, if you're using it for hunting, just keep it naked as it is. Chuck on a scope, chuck on a mod. That's about it. Basically what I'm saying is you can't fully pimp it up like you can that. I mean, that's looking pretty much nothing like an Impact. Well, at the minute anyway, it's fully sort of kitted out. That one is a 25 cal FAC version. Actually, no, I'm running a 30 cal barrel in that one at present. But, you know, you can bolt loads of crap on the Impact. The dynamic is a little bit more sort of subtle and, you know, keep it lightweight, because that, trust me, I've walked around the field without that. It's getting a bit much now, to be honest. I think I'll have to treat myself to one of these for out in the field. But anyway, so basically pimping it up, you're a little bit more limited to pimping it up than like an Impact, for example. And that goes for the Panthera and the Dynamic, okay? But like I said, Dynamic, just keep it like a Verminator, where it's all minimal, lightweight, compact. That's the idea of it. As soon as you put all that crap on, you're kind of defeating the object. Shall we leave the Rack Impact? We could actually rename that, couldn't we? The Rack Pack. No, Rack Packed Impact. No, all right. Anyway, we'll leave that there because it does look cool on the table. So let's get down and dirty with accuracy. But first of all, by the way, I was using a little Hug It moderator on this, and oh my god, did it make a difference. Just this little thing, it made such a difference on this little 177 dynamic. It was really, really cool. Let's put that there. Right, accuracy. Now this is going to be quite interesting. I used a number of different pellets on this rifle. Here is the target, and I'll roll in footage as well. So let's take it from the top. So I've got to find these pellets. Field targets trophy to start with, which is them right there. I'm going to move them over here as I do this. Field target trophy, 8.64 grains, 30 yards, a little bit blustery, and I'm left-handed and it's me, so there's all the excuses out of the way. 3-shot groups. Boom. Okay. Don't know what happened there, but it did happen. Next up was the JSB Exact. These are 8.44 grain. That's them. Next run. 3-shot groups again. Not bad. Then I've got these in now. These QYS pellets. Pretty damn impressive. The quality of these is quite good. I've heard a lot of good things about these QYS pellets. So this is the first time I've used them. QYS 8.48 grains. These did pretty damn well. Okay, 3-shot groups, 30 yards. Then we went on to JSB Hades, which are the Rat Busters. They are a little bit heavier at 10.34 grains. 3-shot groups again. Finger just for scale. That's a decent group. Okay. Then we went on to the pain in the backside pellet that can often cause a lot of grief to targets, as in they're a little bit erratic. H&M Barracuda Greens. These are lead free. These are literally made of tin. Okay. Shiny, shiny. These ones are very light at 6.64 grains. They did go a little bit here and there, but not too bad. That was them. Then we went on to H&N Barracuda Match, which are nicer quality Barracuda basically. These ones are 10.65 grains. These grouped really well. Okay, 3-shot groups again. Decent. And then, last but not least, on the pellets anyway, Norma Golden Trophies. These are 9.1 grains. These did really nicely as well. Okay. Nice. Decent accuracy with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of pellets. Between each shot string, I was putting 4 or 5 pellets just on my little gong, just to sort of get their barrel accustomed to that pellet. No, I didn't clean the barrel either. Straight out of box, brand new rifle. No, I didn't clean the barrel. I just shot it straight away. Okay, there you go. So that was pellets. Then I thought, well, you know what? Let's go on to some slugs. So I used some JSB Knockout slugs. Show you these. Okay, use them. They were, what are they weighing in at? They are weighing in at 13.43 grains. Let me find the target for those. 3-shot groups, 30 yards. I did re-zero for these, but 3-shot groups, 30 yards. Look at that group. What? Nice. JSB knockouts. Then I used H&N Slug HPs or high powers. These are, what grain are these? These are, I didn't write it down on my target. Oh God, why didn't I write that down? These are 16 grain, so quite a bit heavier. These ones are. Okay. These performed, at first, the first shot went a little bit weird. So that flyer, maybe it was me, I don't know. And then the rest grouped really well. That's just a separate group there. Look at that group. 3-shot groups with slugs out of a sub 12 177. Really, really good. So accuracy is definitely there. I think I've done this rifle justice as far as showing off different pellets and testing different pellets and slugs, because I am starting to do that a lot now in airgun videos, is seeing what sub 12s like slugs and how they perform, just out of interest. These were still hitting hard. These slugs were on my, I could tell by the sound, hitting the steel backstop of my little 30-yard range. These things will seriously do rats, for example, quite a bit of damage at that sort of range. You know, the accuracy is there. Heavy wind defeating slugs, you know, obviously slugs do loads better in FAC versions, but not bad at all, not bad at all. Now let's make some room for a start. Let's move these pellets out of the way and all this ammo, because we'll give the trigger a pull and see what it is doing straight out of the box for you trigger snobs. God, these, yeah, I'm quite impressed with that for the slugs. I really am, really am. Let's get rid of the targets out of the way, because I've got too much going on here. Right then, so let's cock this rifle. We'll measure the trigger. The beauty of most of the FXs now is you can decock them. So that is obviously cocked. I can decock it by holding on to the cocking lever, pulling the trigger and letting it go. That decocks it, for those who don't know. So let's give the trigger a pull, see what it is doing. £2, 5.7 ounces on the trigger pull. Nice trigger, I need to remind myself. Yeah, nice trigger, very nice trigger. What I love about the M3, the FX Impact M3 and the Dynamic is they use the same chunky cocking lever, which, as I mentioned earlier, you can swap round to the other side if you so wish. Like I said, I prefer it how it is. Me being a lefty, I've left mine how it is on the RACKNLOAD Impact, because it just works for me. It's set up nice for me. Let's move that hug moderator. So yeah, very impressed with this little Dynamic Express. A compact little hunter for sure. Really, really works well. Very accurate. The proof is in the pudding. It takes obviously the same magazines as the Panthera, so they are slightly deeper magazines. I think you can put in like a, I forget what size now. They're ideal for slugs anyway, and I've already ran this with slugs, but I do like these. They're a lot more chunkier than previous FX magazines that I used to absolutely moan about big time. I mean, to be fair, I've had problems with impact magazines before, even in this M3. You fill them full of slugs and it's like the slugs are too, when you've got a full mag, it's almost like they're too heavy for that magazine to rotate. I've found myself cocking it all the way back and having to tap the magazine so it'd spin round a little bit. It was like the spring tension wasn't powerful enough or strong enough for that much weight of ammunition, if that makes sense. But these ones, I've not had a problem with any of these ones on the Pantheras or this dynamic. So basically what you do is you spin it all the way around, which took the cover off. Put your first pellet in, which locks it in position. Fill it all up. Obviously, it won't spin around like that. Slightly thicker window as well, which is nice. So, it's really quite tough. The whole magazines just feel better on these Pantheras and dynamics. I'm calling it a Panthera, but I did notice that the quality of them has improved a little bit. They just seem a bit more tougher and a bit more better, basically. So yeah, slightly deeper to take slugs, and basically once you've loaded it up, you put the cover on, flick it around like that, and in it goes. It has got a last shot stop there, so as you can see, obviously this magazine is empty, so that's what will happen is you just basically, you won't be able to close the bolt. I don't recommend, and I've said this before on the impact, I don't recommend operating this like a rimfire where you're cocking it dead fast, because not only are you potentially going to damage pellets as the probe rams them into the barrel, but you could potentially damage the probe if there was an obstruction or I don't know, something didn't quite line up. So, unless you're shooting against the clock, which 99.9% of them aren't. And if you are, it's not like you've got to really sort of, cock it like that, like it's a bolt action. There's no need to. Just be nice and smooth with it and firm. When you see people operating these fast, it kind of makes me cringe, because they'll do it that fast sometimes that they might not fully cock it, and then that's how you end up double feeding them. So just a bit of a pointer there. You do see people doing it even on video, but no, other than that, you won't have any problems with the magazines. I've not in recent times with Pantheras and this dynamic. I think I've used several Pantheras now. Not had any problems with them. They've just worked really well, better than the older impact magazines. Right, let's show you the box. You do get a decent hard case. Oh, the massive, I can't get this all on screen, but you get your normal sort of box hard case that's sort of cut out. There you go. You get the idea. You get your Foster filler there, and I'll show you the manual. Let's move that out of the way. So here is the manual. Yep, it's a Panthera manual, because it's basically a Panthera. But no, decent manual, decent diagrams. It explains. In fact, they've done it quite well here. They basically show you the Panthera, and then they do show you the dynamic, how it is slightly different with the bottle on the back. But then it's all sort of Panthera pictures then as you go through. But it's a decent manual. I do like the FX manuals. They're dead easy to read, and definitely worth reading as well, from cover to cover. Never ever guess. Too many people guess. Like I say, I work in the industry. People think they know what they're doing. They'll guess, and then we have loads of repairs to do then. So, but yeah, decent manual, easy to read, just read it. It takes you 10-15 minutes to read this manual when you first get one of these rifles. But no, guys, the proof is in the pudding as far as accuracy goes. This thing is accurate, even with slugs and with all those pellets. You know, with a gun that's not necessarily running properly. I have put a good few hundred pellets through this rifle. I didn't clean it. I know some people will say in the comments, oh no, you've got to clean it straight away. As soon as you get it, clean it, clean it, clean it. The barrel, that is. But I didn't, and it's, you know, if I did that with every rifle I got, God, it would be a nightmare. But no, to decent accuracy with this dynamic, even with slugs, which is impressive. I'm sure it'll just get better and better and better. The accuracy will. But no, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I will throw in anything I've missed down below. All the stats as well that I got off the chronograph, although I did roll them in the corner when I was showing you the targets. You may or may not have noticed that, but it was pretty consistent. Anyway, just on the chronograph, I was using field target trophies just on the chronograph, just to see what this was doing, you know, seeing what the spread was like. So I think it did pretty damn well, but I'll roll in that now. You can see it there, but I did sneak it in when I was showing the targets. But no, pretty consistent on the chronograph. Anyway, guys, I am going to leave it at that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And even better, come join us on RACKNLOAD.com, the only social media platform for the shooter. It's just like the one that we all know, but there's no rules and regulations about don't post anything gun related or prices or stuff like that. On RACKNLOAD.com, you can do it all. Follow the link and scan the QR code that you see on screen at the beginning of the video. But it'll be great to see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Stay subbed. If you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell, and then you'll be notified when I upload a video. And it's pretty much every week. Thanks for watching, guys. That is Rack and Load. See ya.